Namaste. Perspective. We can all look at a scene or a painting, or even a person for that matter, and we can all have a different experience of that. And this depends on perspective. It depends on your window of perception. And that window of perception is coloured by beliefs, by culture, by race, sometimes by sex, but definitely by all the patterns that we've taken on in this lifetime and perhaps from others. And when we are involved in life and things happen, every day there's different events that happen in our life, and those can be experienced completely differently depending on our window of perception. For instance, someone can be driving behind someone and they're going very, very slowly. One person might say, oh gosh, that person might be lost. Another person might see that they're elderly and say, oh, you know, I'll just be really patient here because this person may be a little confused. Someone else might, you know, respond angrily with road rage. It's like, what are they doing on the road? They shouldn't be on the road anyway. This is just a little example. But every situation that comes our way, we respond to with our automatic reactivity, and that reactivity depends on what programs we're running, what beliefs we have fundamentally under those programs. And every situation will bring different responses from different sets of programs. Having another look at perspective, we can take the eagle's perspective. We can see the big picture. Or we can be condensed down into the picture just as a separate individual with, you know, my beliefs and the way I think it should be done. And that's a very common and quite narcissistic approach. Can we step back, and I don't mean physically step back, but create that sense of separation to see the unfolding of life simply as that, the unfolding of life, to see the drama of life just as that, the play, the Lilo, the illusion, the Maya, playing out in all the different costumes, all the different dramas, all the different actors and actresses on the stage. When we are able to step back and see that each one of those actors and actresses is myself, my fundamental self on the level of consciousness, we begin to be able to see the big picture a little more easily. But if we're experiencing that from the small self, the separate individual little me, and I don't think it should be that way, I think it should be different, I think that person should be acting differently, or, you know, basically I, the little separate self, is not on board with the unfolding of life as it is. This is when we begin to suffer. This is suffering, being unable to be with what is as it's unfolding. Now, there's levels of this, of course. I mean, it's very easy as we grow in wisdom and we understand, we wake up, we understand we are not limited to this separate individual and this separate physical body self, that we are actually consciousness playing out through all the actors, actresses on the stage, and that you and I essentially are one. Yet we still are asked to live in this human dimension and express as an individual through this body-mind mechanism. Then that can be very challenging at times, particularly when it comes, as most of you know, to family or to people who we love and we care about the most. People who we respect, perhaps, who we respect their opinion. All of a sudden, there becomes a slight imbalance there, doesn't it? Doesn't there? And because we're perhaps seeking love, we put their opinion above our opinion of ourselves. If we take the eagle's eye there and know that each and every one of us is exactly where we need to be, doing exactly what we need to do, and every opportunity is there for us to step back out of the little eye and see the big picture and identify more as consciousness rather than the separate individual self that wants everything to go their way and thinks that this should not be so, when in fact it is so. This is when we create that split, which creates suffering. So perspective, the window through which we view life unfolding. What colour is that? What is that coloured by? What perhaps beliefs, what stuckness may be there that disallows us to see what is and be able to live in acceptance and gratitude. Namaste.